Hello and welcome to Express News. In the next half an hour, we'll get you all the latest news and updates. My name is Abhishek Mahajan. We'll start with the top story. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi offered prayers at Sri Krishna Temple, Guruvayur, on the second day of Kerala visit. In the temple premises, Prime Minister also witnessed a special and unique recitation of Ramayana in Malayalam. PM Modi also enjoyed traditional folk songs which were presented to him by a group of students in Malayalam. PM also blessed a newly wedded couple, daughter of Malayalam actor Suresh Gopi, a former Rajya Sabha member, during his visit to Guruvayur temple. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also offered prayers at Prasar Sri Ram Swami Temple in Thrissur district of southern state of Kerala. Prime Minister Modi was also accorded a grand welcome by locals in Kerala as people thronged on roads to catch a glimpse of the Prime Minister. India's Prime Minister inaugurated 3 major infrastructure projects worth more than $482 million. Addressing the gathering, Prime Minister said that projects will further strengthen India's efforts towards ensuring accessible and affordable energy for all. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also said that India is again emerging as a major centre of global trade and India has started strengthening its maritime power. Prime Minister also highlighted the reforms made in the ports, shipping and waterways sector in the last 10 years and said that it has brought new investments in India's ports and created new employment opportunities. Ayodhya is gearing up for the grand inauguration of Ram Temple on January 22nd. On Wednesday, a procession will carry the idol of Lord Ram in his childlike form to Ayodhya, with devotees carrying Saryu water in Mangal Kalash en route to the temple. In the series, India's Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Sindhya and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath virtually flagged off flight services from Ayodhya to Bengaluru and Ayodhya to Kolkata. As the consecration ceremony of the Ram Temple in Ayodhya comes closer, travel portals in India are seeing a jump in searches and bookings, not just for Ayodhya but across religious places. Mamta Goel, an artist from Meerut, is showcasing her devotion through her unique artwork featuring sculptures and idols of Ram Temple on leaves. Recalling Lata Mangeshkar ahead of Ram Temple consecration, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi in a post on X said that as the nation awaits 22nd January with great enthusiasm, one of the people who will be missed is our beloved Lata Didi. Nagabhushan Reddy, a man from South Indian city of Hyderabad, has made a 1,265 kilogram laddu, which is an Indian sweet for Ayodhya's Ram Temple, to be offered as an offering at the temple. A quarry in Guje Godanpura village in South India's Mysuru, from where the black stone was excavated for making Lord Ram's sculpture, is flooded with people who are offering prayers at the location. Women dressed in traditional Indian attire reached the Ram Temple and offered prayer in the temple city of Ayodhya. A student from Basti district in India's Uttar Pradesh displayed her paintings of Lord Ram at the bank of Saryu River in the temple city of Ayodhya. A couple from Mandapeta town in South Indian state of Andhra Pradesh will be sending decorated coconuts for the consecration ceremony in Ayodhya on January 22nd. The Indian markets ended in red on Wednesday. Sensex tumbled 1,628 points to close at 71,500. While Nifty plunged 460 points to settle at 21,571. The Indian rupee settled 2 paise lower at 83.14 against US dollar on Wednesday. Gold future maturing on 5th February stood at Rs 61,872 per 10 grams, while silver futures maturing on 5th March stood at Rs 71,730 per kg on Multi-Commodity Exchange of India Limited. While prices witnessed a decline of over $1 on Wednesday due to China's lower than expected economic growth projections, Brent crude dropped by 1.5%, reaching $77.10 per barrel. US stocks declined on Tuesday after mixed earnings from Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs pressured banks. The S&P 500 declined by 0.37% and the Nasdaq was lower by 0.19%. Asian equities fell sharply on Wednesday, led by Chinese stocks, while the dollar was near a one-month high as traders dialed back bets of early interest rate cuts. China's economy continues to slow down amid a worsening property crisis and weak consumer demand. While the country's GDP grew 5.2% in the fourth quarter, it failed to meet 5.3% target. Apple reclaimed the top spot in global smartphone market, outplacing Samsung for the first time since Samsung surpassed Nokia in 2011. At the World Economic Forum in Davos, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said that US restrictions on advanced ships to China are about safeguarding security and not disrupting commerce. The US Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Wednesday termed India as an extraordinary success story, hailing the policies and programs of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, saying those have been very beneficial to the people of India. Israel and Hamas have reached a deal to allow more humanitarian aid into Gaza. Under the deal brokered by Qatar and France, urgent medication will be provided to hostages held by Hamas. The Israeli army released a video showing another Hamas tunnel under Gaza's main north-south highway. The tunnel was used by Hamas to transfer terrorists from north to south Gaza. The US military carried out new strikes in Yemen on Tuesday against anti-ship ballistic missiles in a Houthi-controlled part of the country. France said that it chose not to take part in the US-led strikes because it wants to avoid a regional escalation. Two Russian missiles struck a residential area in the center of Ukraine's Kharkiv on Tuesday. The officials said the attack injured 17 people and damaged homes. Russian President Vladimir Putin said it was impossible to take away from Russia the military gains it had made in Ukraine. The Kremlin has said that Russia is developing its relations with North Korea in all areas, including the sensitive ones. On the sidelines of the World Economic Forum, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said it is very important for a 27-member bloc to unanimously approve financial aid of 50 billion euros for war-torn Ukraine. Hungary opposed EU's efforts to revamp its budget to channel the debated financial aid to Kiev, stating that European Union should help Ukraine but not by diverting resources from the bloc's budget. Following the death of two children in air attacks by Iran, which Pakistan deemed a violation of its airspace, the country has withdrawn its ambassador from Iran. The Iranian ambassador currently visiting Iran will also not be permitted to return to Pakistan. South Korea has sanctioned 2 individuals, 3 entities and 11 ships linked to North Korea's nuclear and missile programs. Polish truckers have agreed to suspend their protests until March after signing an agreement with the government. Border crossings with Ukraine were blocked since November due to protests. Thousands of people attended a protest in Colonia in western Germany against the increasing rise of right-wing ideology in the country. In the Serbian capital Belgrade, thousands of opposition supporters rallied peacefully in an anti-government protest to demand the annulment of last month's elections, which were described by international observers as unfair. Italian, Slovenian and Croatian interior ministers met near Croatian-Slovenian border to discuss border checks and border police cooperation related to unauthorized immigration. After his Iowa victory, Donald Trump appeared in a New York federal court on Tuesday for the second time in his bid to deny accusations by writer A. John Carroll, who accused him of sexual assault decades ago. Donald Trump and his Republican opponents kicked off a week of campaigning in New Hampshire on Tuesday ahead of his state's nominating contest, with the ex-president's competitors battling to slow his march to the party's White House nomination. Lee Anderson and Brendan Clark-Smith, the deputy chairman of UK's ruling Conservative Party, resigned after voting in favour of an amendment to the government's Rwanda migration plan. Ecuador's armed forces have taken patrolling to the country's waterways as part of their efforts to combat criminal organizations. The Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency is set to make history as it attempts to land the country's first spacecraft on the moon. In Japan, two passengers' planes collided at Hokkaido Airport on Tuesday. Nobody was injured in the incident and no fire or fuel leak was reported. Millions of Americans woke up to snow, freezing rain and frigid temperatures as an Arctic blast gripped much of the United States, ending a nearly 2-year snow drought in New York City and putting West into a deep freeze. At least 5 people have died since the weekend, including 2 from hypothermia in Oregon. More than 50,000 customers are struggling without electricity in the region, and at least 3,000 flights in the United States were cancelled or delayed. The British Met Office has warned that could mark the coldest January night in the United Kingdom since 2010, with temperatures dropping to minus 15 degrees Celsius in parts of Scotland. Canada is experiencing record-breaking cold due to polar vortex. Video shows everyday items like toilet paper, eggs, noodles and hot water completely frozen amidst the extreme icy temperatures in Alberta. In what was recorded as second volcanic eruption on the peninsula of Reykjanes in recent weeks, the site of volcanic eruption in the outskirts of Grindavik in Iceland appeared to calm down. Officials warned that new fissures could emerge in time, adding that magma continued to flow underground and it was too early to declare the eruption over. A large intense summer storm brought hail, uprooted trees and damaged properties across Australia's west on Tuesday afternoon. Up to 34,000 homes and businesses were severely impacted by the storm. A nature photographer captured the world's largest iceberg, which is drifting past the northern tip of the Antarctic Peninsula, aided by strong winds and currents. The remains of a 2,800-year-old human settlement have been discovered in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's native village, Vadnagar, Gujarat. A joint study by the Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur and Archaeological Survey of India has discovered evidence of the full-fledged human settlement. The birth anniversary of the 10th Sikh Guru Gobind Singh was celebrated with religious fervour and enthusiasm in the Golden Temple, Amritsar, of Indian state of Punjab. It is the 357th birth anniversary of the 10th Sikh Guru. The Gurdwara decorated beautifully with colourful flowers as people thronged in large numbers to seek blessings. The much-awaited Jagannath Temple Heritage Corridor project at Puri in Indian state of Odisha opened to the public today. The Temple Heritage Corridor has been built to enhance the visual connection between devotees and the shrine. A fancy dress ice skating competition was organized in the Indian state of Himachal Pradesh. The ice skating carnival is held in Shimla every year from the first week of December to the last week of February. More than 200 ancient pre-Hispanic artifacts ranging from ceramics to important works of indigenous art have been successfully reclaimed by Peru from collectors and institutions around the world. Some of the objects, which include sculptures, textiles and tools, are more than 2,000 years old, government officials said, with the oldest dating back to 200 BC. The Vietnam Fine Arts Museum in Hanoi is hosting an exhibition from January 16 to 21st. The exhibition features 300 paintings and sculptures created between 2020-2023, including 27 award-winning works. The 30 winners of the first painting contest were selected from over 800 entries created by nearly 500 artists nationwide, showcasing Vietnam's rich cultural heritage and scenery. An exhibition of fine and applied art dedicated to the year, the fount of the mind of Maktimguligi Fragi was organized in the exhibition hall of the Union of Artists of Turkmenistan. The theme of the artwork reflects the image of the poet Maktimguli Fragi, the era in which he lived and the historical events of that time. For the first time, the Vietnamese Youth Orchestra combined with the Japanese Super Kids Orchestra to perform in a concert in Hanoi. 10 Vietnamese and international pieces of music were skillfully performed, and through their efforts, passion and creativity, they are making efforts to bring classical music closer to the public. Pharrell Williams kicked off Paris Fashion Week with Louis Vuitton spring menswear elaborately embellished American West outfits. The show was the designer's third since he took on creative direction for the label's menswear line last year. With just under a month to go before the start of the 74th Berlin Film Festival, the outgoing festival directors visited the production site of the Berlinale Bears for one last time. Artistic director Carlo Chatrian and executive director Mariette Rissenbeek showed mixed emotions while watching the bear casting at a Berlin foundry. The 74th Berlin International Film Festival, also called Berlinale, will be held from 15 February to 25th February. Around 400 films from around the world are expected to be screened at the event. Singer-songwriter Charlie Puth and The War and Treaty performed the theme song from television sitcom Friends at the 75th Emmy Awards in memoriam of late actor Matthew Perry. The 40th edition of Sundance Film Festival will take place from January 18 to 28 in Park City, Utah. The festival will showcase 82 feature-length films from 24 countries. American singer and actress Janet Jackson announces summer 2024 tour Together Again with Kelly. The tour is scheduled to kick off on June 4th in California. Indian mythological superhero film Hanuman crossed over Rs 100 crore worldwide within 5 days of its release. American actress Christina Applegate was moved to tears when she was given a standing ovation as she walked on stage to present the Emmy Award for Best Supporting Actress. Indian actor Mahesh Babu starrer Guntur Karam earned over Rs 150 crore worldwide. Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra celebrated the second birthday of their daughter Malti Mary. The singer-actor shared the pictures of Elmo-themed birthday party on his social media account. Bollywood actress Alia Bhatt praised filmmaker Vidhu Vinod Chopra's latest biographical drama 12th Fail, starring actor Vikrant Massey. "One of the most beautiful films I've seen in a while," quoted Alia. The 66th Annual Grammy Awards will be held on February 4th in Los Angeles. Comedian Trevor Noah to host the ceremony. Indian teenager Pragya Nanda beat reigning world champion Ding Lijian in a fourth-round clash to leapfrog over five-time world champion Vishwanathan Anand as country's top-ranked chess player in the FIDE's live ratings with a rating of 2748.3. Australia ended day one of the ongoing first test against West Indies at 59 for 2 after bowling out the visitors on 188 in the first innings on Wednesday. New Zealand batter Finn Allen blasted a world record equaling 16 sixes in an innings of 137 from 62 balls as New Zealand thrashed Pakistan by 45 runs in the third 2020 international on Wednesday to take a winning 3-0 lead in the 5-match series. Zimbabwe defeated Sri Lanka by 4 wickets in last-over thriller in the second T20I at R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo on Tuesday to level the series 1-1. England cricket team is hoping to have a fully fit Jofra Archer available for the T20 World Cup later this year in June, despite the ace fast bowler undergoing rehabilitation following the recurrence of his long-standing elbow injury. In Australian Open, Ons Jabeur suffered a stunning 6-0, 6-2 loss to Russian teenager Miran Driva in Australian Open second round on Wednesday. While number 4, Coco Gauff marched into the third round at the Australian Open after defeating fellow American Caroline Dolehide 7-6, 6-2 in the second round. In the men's singles, Yannick Sinner continued his hot streak of form to race into the third round for the third successive year with a 6-2, 6-2, 6-2 demolition of Dutch qualifier Jasper de Jong. Alex de Minaur also advanced to the third round of the Australian Open, beating Arnaldi 6-3, 6-0, 6-3. A dozen French Olympic athletes took to the catwalk on day one of Paris Fashion Week on Tuesday to parade their Stephanaspool design kit for this year's Olympics. Alright, that's all we have in this edition of Express News. You stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.